Hey, boys and girls, we're going to do a little compare and contrast lesson. That was what we were talking about before we left each other at school a few weeks ago. We had been comparing and contrasting some fiction text, and now we're going to look at some nonfiction. I have Jonah here to help me. He's going to be my assistant. And first, Jonah, I want you to remind us what compare and contrast means. What do those words mean?
Compare means the same.
There's our word.
And contrast means different.
Okay, and we have some symbols when we're comparing and contrasting. Do you know what those symbols are? Help us remember. Okay, do you remember the circles? Compare and contrast. Compare and contrast. Okay, we're thinking about similarities, what's the same, and what's different. Jonah's exactly right. Okay, we use those circles to help remind us because a lot of times when we're comparing and contrasting, we use this handy dandy graphic organizer that looks like this, the two circles. Okay, and we learned a fun little song. Do you know the song? When they're alike, they go in the middle. When they're different, they go on the sides. Okay, so we
did a video of that song.
Yes, so when we know that video, that's from another fabulous teacher. Okay, but that helps us remember. Those are our cues. Same, different. Same, different. Just like that graphic organizer, that Venn diagram that we use. Okay, we are going to do something together, but our graphic organizer is going to be just a little bit different. We are going to use a piece of paper. So if you have one and want to do this with us, that would be wonderful. We're going to compare and contrast, not with circles today, but we're still going to have parts to our paper. We're going to split it into 3 parts so that we can still put similarities in the middle and differences on the sides. Okay, so see if you can do this with us. All right, we're going to take a sheet of paper. Okay, Jonah's going to help me. We are not going to fold it all the way in half because we need 2 folds. Okay, so we're going to go just about there with our first fold, not all the way in half hot dog style or hamburger style, not all the way in half. We don't want that. Okay, just like that. And then do another fold, just folding that last section in. Okay, so that when we open it up, we have 3 sections, okay, just like our Venn diagram, except for long rectangle sections rather than circles. This is something you can do at home when you're comparing and contrasting. We're going to put the same in the middle. So let's write that on top. And different, contrasting, on the sides. Okay. Now, we're going to read a book together, and we are going to pay attention to similarities and differences. We're going to compare and contrast. Okay, so before we do that, we have some special words because as I'm reading, I want you to listen if there's any special words, some clues that you hear that are telling us that we're comparing or contrasting. So when I'm comparing, there's my word here, Jonah. When I compare, when I'm looking at things that are the same, sometimes there's clues in the text. I might hear the words like the same as. You're upside down.
Oh, not that.
Okay. Jonah's hair is the same as mine in color. Okay, we have the same color hair. Resemble, when things look alike. Okay, that's a cue, that's a clue, a comparing signal word. I hear that word, I know, oh, they're telling me something similar. Both, okay, Jonah and I both have brown hair, even though it's not exactly the same. Similar to and alike. All right, some contrasting words that we might pay attention to as we're reading would be, on the other hand, I'm going to keep using our hair as an example. We both have brown hair. On the other hand, or I'm sorry, I have curly hair. I'm going to start again. On the other hand, Jonah, my son here, has straight hair. Okay, so similarity, we both have brown. Okay, difference, contrasting, covering you. curly, straight. That's our difference. Okay, some other contrasting words, different from, although, as opposed to, try not to get a glare, and however. Make sure I'm in the screen. Okay, so if we hear those words, those are cues for us as we're reading. Okay, gives us a little hint when I'm going to hear some comparing and contrasting between two things. So we have our chart set up just like this. Now I need to know what I'm comparing and contrasting. So we're going to look at a book together today. It's called
Whale's Not a Fish.
A Whale is Not a Fish. That's right, Jonah. Okay, this is a nonfiction text, and we're going to be comparing and contrasting a whale and a fish. There's other animals that are talked about in this book. This is a really cool book. We're only going to look at just the first part, but if you're interested in it, it is a Scholastic book. And Scholastic's been wonderful during this time and is allowing some online reading, online use of their books. So we're going to read just part of this. So our two topics, okay, what are my topics? We're going to look at the
whale,
and
fish.
And the fish. So can you write that at the top? We're going to put whale on one side. I helped you out there. Okay, and then we'll put fish on the other side. Nope, on the different side. There you go. Okay, nice and neat, as best you can over there. Okay, so now we're ready to read. We have our chart set up. Okay, we're going to listen for similarities. We're going to use those signal words as we read. And then we're going to also pay attention to some differences between a whale and a fish. And some of us have some information in our schemas already, our file folders. Okay, we may know a lot about fish. So I may have a file folder already full of information on fish and other other animals. So I may know some similarities and differences already, okay? But we're going to check with the text as we read and see if we can maybe come up with some new things that we didn't know. So listen with me, Jonah, as we read. Okay, I want you to help me and see if we can hear those similarities and differences. I'm actually not going to read the whole text just for time, but we're going to look at the headings and maybe the illustrations, those text features that we've learned before. Okay, we're going to use those to help us. Here's my first page here. Oh, it's a little bit blurry. Sorry about that. A whale is not a fish. Whales and fish live in the water. They both have streamlined bodies. I heard that word both. Did you hear that, Jonah?
Yep.
Okay. Did you hear any similarities or differences?
Live in the water.
They live in the water. So in my same section, I'm going to put both. I'm going to use that signal word. Live. I'm going to have you take over for me in a minute, okay? I'm going to start with this first one. But both live in the water. Was there anything else they said was the same? It said something about their bodies, kind of the shape of their bodies.
Streamlined body.
They both have streamlined bodies, similar shape, some of them. Okay. All right, so I put those in my little same section. I'm going to do a line under my same. Okay, like a heading there. All right, so I already have two similarities comparing. Okay, so let's keep reading and see if we can hear anything else. Whales are immense. Fish are smaller. This is a super tiny fish. We know they can be different shapes and sizes, but comparing here to here, or contrasting rather, okay, whales are immense. Do you know what that word means, Jonah?
Huge.
Huge, okay? It told me fish were smaller. Whales are immense and fish are smaller. So it's kind of a clue that they were opposites, okay? Huge would be a synonym. Can you give me another word that means the same as immense or huge?
Ginormous.
Ginormous. I don't know that that's a real word, but we could say gigantic, enormous. You don't have to use the word huge. Okay. All right. So Jonah added that for me. Whales on the whale side. we have huge. Whales are huge and fish are smaller. Okay, he put tiny, okay? I'm gonna put a little comma there. I am gonna put, you're right, they can be super tiny like the one that we just saw in the text, but I'm gonna add the word smaller because fish can come in all different sizes,
Like
and
sharks.
some are not so tiny, okay? But
Like
they are
sharks.
smaller than whales, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so you can put tiny or smaller. Okay, so there's definitely a difference in their size. Okay. All right, so let's keep reading. Let's see if there's any other. That was a difference. They were contrasting. Let's see if there's any more similarities or differences. Let's read. So here we have whales have sideways tail fins, and fish fins are straight up and down. Compare or contrast? This one. Contrasting. Now, there actually is a similarity as well. What body part are we looking at? They both have fins, and the text didn't tell me that, but it may have been in my schema or just using the illustrations, a similarity between these two animals that they both have fins. Okay, but I'm gonna help you real quick. But they just told us that whale fins are sideways and they use their fins like this to swim, to help them swim. I'm gonna put sideways fins.
Is there?
And fish, their fins are up and down. They go straight up and down. Okay, so Jonah and I are doing this chart together. So we added that they both have fins. That's a similarity, but their fins are different. Okay, whales have those sideways fins, and fish swim. They use their tail. They go back and forth with their tail to help them swim. So that's a difference. Whale skins are smooth and rubbery, and fish are covered with thin, bony scales. Compare, contrast. Nice and neat. He's writing on the different side. You can't see what he's writing, but he's writing rubbery.
Oh. We got an ER.
Okay, let's add another B there too. Rubbery, so the skin is different. Whales have smooth, rubbery skin, while on the other hand, signal word, contrasting signal word, fish have scales. Okay, he's showing you his chart, his work there. We had a hard time spelling rubbery, but that's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. That's how we get better. Okay, let's think about some more. Jonah's going to continue to help me while I keep reading. Okay, the next page. Oh, I see a body part. This is a clue. Whales breathe air. They breathe air, and they have a, what do they have? What's that part?
I don't know the name.
That helps them breathe air. A blowhole. That may or may not have been in your schema. Whales have a blowhole and they breathe air. They're mammals like we are, so they have to breathe air. They come up to the surface every so often to breathe air. They have a blowhole. Okay, and
Right. I already know
fish breathe water. They have gills. Look at my diagram down there, showing us how they breathe in water. They take in the oxygen from the water and then release the water back out. Okay, it's here too on the text. Always use the text too if you need help with your spelling. Let's double the L and take out that E. Perfect. Gills, they breathe water. Okay, he's adding a few things. I'm going to keep reading. You can be adding things to your chart as well, but I'm going to keep reading, so be listening. Oh, there's his chart. They have a blowhole. Oops, let's go over so we can see whales. Whales have a blowhole after rubbery there. And fish have gills. They breathe water. Perfect. Okay, keep listening. Whales bear their young alive. They have live babies, while on the other hand, or however, fish lay eggs. Oh, he's writing. Okay, you can use the text to help you with your spelling too. Live babies. Okay, so he's writing on the different side. So whales have live young because they're mammals, and he's adding to our fish side that fish lay eggs. Whales are warm-blooded. They're mammals. Their temperature stays the same. Unlike fish that are cold-blooded. Did you hear anything there, Jonah?
Yes.
Okay. Whales are warm-blooded. Warm. There you go. And you can use the text too to always help you with spellings. No, you guys don't have it. Do the best you can. There's an ed suffix ending at the end of blooded. And fish are cold-blooded. Okay. All right. Perfect. That is a wonderful list. So he's finishing up that chart. We'll show you in just a moment. This book goes on to continue to compare and contrast different animals. An ape is not a monkey. Okay. But we're going to stop there. Okay. But if you're interested, a whale is not a fish. Awesome book. Okay. So let's look at what my helper has over here. All right. There's our chart. Okay, we have some similarities and lots of differences. A whale is not a fish, and now we know, okay, and we know why also. All right, thank you so much, Jonah, for being my helper, my assistant for this. And thank you so much, my kiddos, for watching and hanging out. I love, love, love you. Love, 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 lots of love. I miss you, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.